The movie Fall starts with a thrilling climb that sets the stage for everything to come. 3 adrenaline junkies, Becky, her husband Dan, and her best friend Hunter, are scaling a massive rock wall. It's an intense moment, with Becky having to leap from her side of the wall to Dan's side, trusting that he'll catch her. As Dan climbs higher, a bat suddenly flies out from a crack in the rock, scaring him and causing him to lose his grip. He tries to recover, but his harness slips, and in an instant, he falls to his death. The tragic loss leaves Becky in a deep emotional hole that she can't escape from. Almost a year later, Becky's life has completely spiraled. She's turned to alcohol to numb the pain of losing Dan and has shut herself off from her father, James, who tried to console her with tough love. He told her that Dan wouldn't want her to mourn him like this, especially when she was still alive. But Becky can't hear that. She's too caught in her grief to move forward. One night, she even plans to end it all by overdosing, but at the last second, she gets a call from Hunter. Hunter shows up at her door, determined to pull her out of the dark. After some emotional moments, Hunter convinces Becky to go on one last adventure, a climb up a TV tower that's over 2,000 feet tall. It's a big challenge, especially since Becky hasn't gone climbing since Dan's death. Still, she agrees to go, and the two set off. As they drive to the location, Hunter supports Becky, even when she has a terrifying nightmare about Dan's bloody body lying next to her. The nightmare shakes Becky, but it also sparks something inside her. Dan's words about living fully and not being afraid to keep going. This helps her decide to climb the tower with Hunter. They stop for food at a diner, where Hunter shows Becky a creative way to charge her phone, using a lamp as a power source. It's a small but clever moment that adds some lightness before the tension ramps up again. Once at the tower's base, the real climb begins. The two women walk the final stretch to the base of the structure after being blocked at a gate, and they're confronted by vultures feeding on a dead coyote. It's a chilling sign of the harsh conditions ahead. Despite Becky's nerves, Hunter persuades her to continue, and they start the dangerous ascent. The further they go, the more perilous it gets. At one point, they climb an old rusted ladder, which feels like it could break at any moment. As they get higher and higher, they eventually make it to the top. It's an incredible view, but it comes at a price. Hunter is so eager to capture the moment that she starts taking risky photos while hanging over the edge, convincing Becky to do the same. Becky, in an emotional moment, scatters Dan's ashes from the top of the tower. It's a moment of closure, but it's also a huge turning point for both of them. When it's time to climb down, things start to unravel quickly. Becky goes first, but while descending, the ladder suddenly breaks. 2 bolts fall out, causing the entire thing to collapse. In an instant, the bag with their water, drone, and supplies falls to the ground, and the 2 women are left stranded with nothing. Hunter manages to pull Becky back up using their harness, but they're stuck. The ladder is destroyed, and Becky's leg is severely injured. Hunter does her best to stop the bleeding, using a tourniquet made from her clothes. Hours pass, and the two realize that no one is coming for them. They try to use the flare gun and binoculars to signal for help, but their attempts fall short. As they wait, they see a trailer parked near the gate below. Hunter has a plan to lower her phone and send out a message for help, but the device breaks in the process. A man walks his dog near the tower, and they throw shoes to try to get his attention, but he doesn't notice them. Things are getting desperate, and after hours of waiting, they finally attempt to signal the men below with the flare gun as the sun sets. But when they catch sight of the car Hunter drove, the men steal it instead, leaving the girls with even less hope. Dehydrated, hungry, and frustrated, Becky begins to break down. As they spend the night, she watches an old video of her and Dan's wedding, but she sees something that catches her off guard. Hunter in the background, looking troubled. A tattoo on Hunter's foot sparks a memory. 143, something Dan used to say instead of telling Becky, "I love you." Finally, Hunter admits that she and Dan had an affair. It was a brief but passionate fling, one that Hunter ended because, despite her feelings for Dan, she loved Becky more. This revelation leaves Becky devastated, and she realizes that their relationship is built on lies. The next day, things only get worse. Hunter admits that it's been 24 hours since they dropped the phone, and now they have to face the truth. They are completely cut off from the world. Hunter then decides to make a daring move. She will climb to the satellite and retrieve their bag with the water and supplies. But while climbing back up, Hunter slips and hurts her hands badly. Becky pulls her back up just in time. In a last-ditch effort to survive, the girls write a message on the drone and try to fly it back to the motel. However, the drone's battery dies before it can reach its destination. Desperate, Becky remembers the clever way Hunter charged her phone earlier and decides to climb to the top of the tower to do the same with the drone. But as she holds on for hours while a vulture circles her, Becky is barely able to keep the drone powered long enough for it to fly. Just when it looks like rescue is within reach, the drone crashes into a truck, its signal lost forever. Becky starts to lose her grip on reality too. She talks to Hunter, but it's revealed in a horrifying twist that Hunter is no longer with her. Hunter bled out from her injuries, and everything Becky had been seeing and hearing was just a hallucination. The next morning, as a vulture attacks Becky, she fights it off, determined to survive. She eats the vulture, finally realizing that this is her last chance to stay alive. She sends a final message to her father, apologizing for pushing him away. With a burst of strength, Becky climbs down to the satellite and attaches her phone to Hunter's shoe. She stuffs it into Hunter's body, using the vulture's attention on Hunter's corpse to her advantage. As Becky pushes Hunter's body off the satellite, she sends the message out. Back on the ground, James, Becky's father, arrives just as rescue teams are swarming the area. He's relieved but heartbroken when he sees Hunter's body being recovered. However, when he finds Becky safe and alive, they embrace, and the two are finally able to heal their broken relationship. So, which awesome movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below and let's make it happen. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our fun recaps. We've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Produced by Warner Talks.